everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple with another YouTube demo for you today. Now we are on YouTube number 68. If I'm wrong, look down. That'll tell you the number that we're on. Number 68 is what I think we're on. So the last YouTube demo I did was number 66. So what happened to YouTube 67? Well, that's a tour of the store. So if you haven't had a chance to go and look, we had a lot of people request now that the remodel is almost done. It's still not done. This is the remodel that keeps going and going and going. But we had so many of you request a tour of the store that YouTube number 67 is just that, a tour of the store. Now, as you can see, I've changed my backdrop again. I'm still not sure where I'm gonna sit to do these. I'm kind of floating my way around the store and seeing where I feel most comfortable. So this time we're against the dye wall, and I don't know, maybe I'll stay here. I haven't decided. Today we have got yummy product for you. I have got pre-embossed cards from Ruby Rocket that everybody can be successful with. We've got one of our most requested items to YouTube, which is the Tim Holtz Distress Paints. I've got some Stemple paint. I've got some Memento ink that we're gonna show a little bit of, but you've seen it a couple times, so I'm just gonna briefly go over it because I really wanna work with the distress paints. But first we've got Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Who won? Now, we are almost caught up with shipping all the prizes, yay. So I have a couple new winners, and Inky Antics, this is from the Inky Antics and Tim Holtz Distress Marker YouTube number 66. So Inky Antics was kind enough to throw in an extra few goodies in our order. So we don't have one winner and we don't have two winners. We actually have three winners this week, so let's give it up for Inky Antics. Woo! All right, our first winner is Diane17 Lynn. That's your YouTube subscriber name, so I hope I have it right. Diane17 Lynn. I hope that's right. And if that's you, congratulations, you have won, yay! Who else do we have? The Arrow Mama 2. The Arrow Mama 2, you two are a lucky winner. And our last winner is Barb Charles. Woo! Let's give it all a hand for the girls. And hopefully, maybe, well, I'm thinking that you're all girls. So, congratulations, guys. Now, we need you to call. You can't email me. Please don't email me because it convolutes things. But if you could call the store and give them your name, address, and all the information they need, we will get these out to you just as soon as possible. The telephone number is 661-298-1112. When you call, say, I am a winner. And the YouTube you're the winner from is number 66. That's how I've got it written. Number 66. You're a YouTube winner from number 66. You are going to get Inky Antics, and you're going to get some Tim Holtz Distress Markers. So congratulations, guys. Well done. And how would you win if you didn't win? You post a comment on the YouTube that you're watching right now. You go and post a comment, and the next YouTube we'll announce who has won prizes. So congratulations, guys. All right, what else is going on? We have got a lot to do today. I have got these amazing pre-embossed cards. I don't know if you can see the embossing, but pre-embossed cards by Ruby Rocket. And we did this for a Keep It Simple Saturday event here because everybody can do it. You don't need to have a big shot machine. You don't need to have embossing folders. You don't need to have a lot of tools in your arsenal to do this. And everybody can be successful at it, which is what we want. We want everybody who tries crafting to get great results and be happy with what they've done and feel that they were creative. And with these techniques that I'm going to show you, everybody can be successful. And that's why we used it for a Keep It Simple Saturday, because we understand not all of you have a big shot machine, not all of you have embossing folders, but you want that look. You want that beautiful look for your scrapbook pages or for your cards that you're sending out. So this is a way to achieve it. And Ruby Rocket has done a beautiful job with their new pre-embossed cards. And remember, yes, you're buying a card, but that doesn't mean you have to keep it as a card. You can absolutely cut it and use the embossed part as a mat for your scrapbooking. You can die cut, or if your friend has a die cutting machine, you can die cut from it. But you don't have to keep it a card if you don't want to. You can absolutely incorporate this into your scrapbooks and your layouts. You can incorporate them into your altered art. It's up to you what you do with them, but I want to show you how much fun they are, and I want to use the distress paints because that was one of the biggest requested items we had. Can you YouTube the distress paints? Yes, we can. And I'm so proud of myself. I actually did. I didn't do the finished samples, but I made some of the backgrounds for today's YouTube. So some of the cards you see, I did the backgrounds for. So yay for me. We were having fun with them yesterday, the distress paints. So I sat down and played for just a few minutes. All right, are we ready to go? Because if so, I am going to tilt on down and we're going to get started for today. And Diane 17 Lynn and the Arrow Mama 2 and Barb Charles, well done, way to go, girls. All right, down we go. Okay, how's that? Let's down a little bit further. There we go. I think that's good. So this is one of the backgrounds that I made. That's why I'm showing it first. Beautiful, isn't it? But we're gonna get to how to do this ombre effect in a few minutes. First, I'm gonna start with the actual cards. So let's grab a package. Packaging comes like this. They're from Ruby Rocket, part of their Fundamentals line. And in each, you get 5 cards and 5 envelopes. And this one happens to be the birthday. I don't know if you can see the birthday on it. But they make several different patterns and several different sizes. There's not only an A2 size, but there is a 5x5 size as well. So these are the 2 sizes that they come in. We're gonna work with the A2 size today because that's what I have open. And like I had said earlier, you don't have to keep it as a card. You can absolutely cut it here and use the embossed side as part of your scrapbook layout or altered art. And then you've got this piece over here to do something with. So it doesn't have to stay a card if you're not necessarily a card maker. But I do want to show you some quick and simple techniques with them. Now I'm going to start with the Memento inks because you know here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, Memento is our ink of choice. Memento is a dye-based ink. So it absorbs into the paper beautifully. It's really your all-purpose everything ink. You cannot use it to do powdered embossing powder over the top or heating embossing. You can't use it. It doesn't stay wet long enough. But for everything else, it really is the most beautiful stamping ink. We have it in full size. We have it full-size pads, dewdrop pads, markers, and reinkers. Now, we recommend you buy the dewdrop size for the colors that you're not necessarily going to use all the time. Like a black ink, I would get a full-size pad of Memento, and it's like $5.20. But the dewdrop size, and the dewdrop refers to the shape of the container, these are great for colors that aren't maybe necessarily your go-to colors, but you'd like to have a good range of colors because they're only $2.10. And yes, you can re-ink them, and yes, the pads stay. They don't fall off, which is really nice. So I'm gonna work with these first, and I've got my brush sticks because we love our brush sticks. These take the place of like a finger dauber, and you can go in there and with some pretty good control, you can color. So I've got my brush stick, and you just go on in, and you can literally color right on top of the embossing. And you're just gonna hit the tops of the embossing. I'm just gonna hit right on top. And the brush sticks allow you to do that because it gives you some form of control. And it really is very, very, very easy. So I could go in and I could just color the entire tops of everything. I could mix my colors. I could add a little green if I wanted. And different sizes, different shapes of the brush stick. It really depends upon what you like. This one might be a little bit big for this. But I'm just going in and hitting the tops of the embossing to give the card some color. Just really simple, really easy. And you can vary your colors and pick and choose what you like. Mary Lynn did a beautiful card. Mary Lynn did this card here. And can you see? She just hit the tops of the flowers. She left the bird cages alone and just hit the tops of her flowers with a little bit of the memento. She just went in, picked it up, went right on top of those flowers, just gave it a little bit of a squish, and hit the tops of those flowers. Beautiful, isn't it? And something so simple as that makes a gorgeous card. She didn't change much of the card at all. And that's all I'm doing, is going in and hitting the tops. And getting in there and adding some color. And the brush sticks make it a little bit easier because you have far more control on where you're adding the color. The brush sticks give you far more control. That's why we love our brush sticks. Mary Lynn's card is absolutely gorgeous. So that's using some memento ink, but you can also use the memento ink going straight over the top. Here I've got my memento ink, and now I'm just going to lightly go right over the top of the card. Look at how easy that is. So this time, I just hit the top of the card with the purple. So simple. I took my memento ink, my dewdrop size, and I took it straight to the card. And I just lightly went right over the top. And it brings that embossing right up. You can't miss it. So here's the card, just white, versus the card colored. So simple. Adds a new dimension to the card. Now sometimes you might want to leave the card just white. Similar to this card here. This is a birthday card. It has little birthday icons in the back, little presents in the back. And we left the card perfectly white and just decorated from there. And here, like I said, Mary Lynn took and just did the tips of the flowers and left the bird cages alone. And then we have this one that I was playing with where we have colored quite a bit. Now this is just hitting the tops, but you could, if you wanted to, go in and, let's take the pink. You could, if you wanted to, you could go in with your dewdrops and really color the card. You could absolutely give the card some real color. Now I'm not just hitting the tops, I'm pushing down and I'm getting some color in there. Totally different look. And if I push down even harder, I could color in the entire card. I could get rid of all the white. It depends upon what you're going for. If you want the card to be completely colored, but can you see the difference of adding a lot of ink versus just hitting the top? Two totally different looks, all on the same card that's already pre-embossed for you. Is that gorgeous? And if you really want, you can actually color the entire card. Up to you. My personal favorite is this. I love this because you still have the white outline to show you the embossing, but I love the color. I love the saturation of color. So a couple different looks. And here we did, let's throw some samples. This was the make and take we did. So we used the 5x5 card. We just hit the card, or the color on the corners. But look at how beautiful it is. Oh, we lost a bow. Bow down. Look at how beautiful it is. In the pinks, this is an Elizabeth Craft peel-off. So you could take one set of cards, which is $4.50, I think, and of course they'll be on sale. you could color all 5 cards. Color all 5 cards. I think I found where the pink bow came from, or the black bow. You could color all 5 of them, bundle them up, and give them as a gift. So that somebody who isn't a card maker has 5 cards that are for birthdays. So easy. And that's using our memento mark, or our dewdrop, memento dewdrops. Now I recommend using the dewdrop size when you are doing this because it gives you far more control. Again, you saw how I just went right over the top of it. Just gives you, it's easier to hold than a full-size pad. Just gives you far more control. And this is where your fun colors come in, where you may not want to have this color in a full-size pad, and this happens to be rosebud. But in the dewdrop size, oh my gosh, how cute is that? So that's using dewdrop memento inks. And we did it to color the card, and we did it to color just in areas of the card. Okay, next we're gonna go to, put those there. I might get back to them and show them again. Next we're gonna go to the Stemple paint real quick. And remember, Stemple paint is a glittery based paint from Viva Decor. And for this, you're going to need to use a spouncer. And yes, we have the spouncers in stock. The Stemple paint is on back order right now. So be patient, it's coming. But Viva Decor is on back order right now. Now, can you see the consistency of it? And you can take that, there's a little bit of liquid in there. You can take that with a little bit of a spoon and stir it together. But the idea of the Stemple paint is that you take a little bit of one color and a little bit of another. And you blend them. So I've got 2 colors on my brush. And you go in and you just kind of dab it in there and then swirl it. You want a little more green, you add a little more green. But you just swirl it on to give the card a beautiful shimmery, glimmery finish. And there's no right and no wrong with these either because the colors blend so perfectly. There we go. It gives the card just this beautiful shimmer, glimmer. Can you see the sheen? Now what I would do is I'm gonna wait for this to dry a little bit and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna hit it with a sand it gadget. And the sand it gadget is going to bring that white up because of course this is a white card. So that means when I sand off some of this top paint, the white will come through and you will see the embossing again. It will bring it to life, but I love the Stemple paint. Do you see that shimmer and that glimmer? It's just gorgeous. Let's see what we've got in the Stemple paint. So here's some samples we did using the Stemple paint. Now this is all one color. And let's see, I don't know what Stemple color we used. Well, we used the one I'm here right now, which is the lime green. So that's all one color of the Stemple paint. And here we've mixed the colors. And we've left some negative space, we've left some white space. Isn't this a great guy card? So these are the clocks. What the embossed feature is on this card from Ruby Rocket is clocks. And we threw some gears on it from Sizzix, and it makes the best guy card. And here we've just kind of thrown some of the Stemple paint down and kind of blended it together, but almost color blocked it in a way. And another card. Again with the clocks. And we've got the Tim Holtz Old Jalopy on there. But what a great guy card. And the colors are yummy. And because these are more muted colors, even though it's got that sheen to it, it still makes a perfect guy card. Perfect guy card. Although it's backwards. And this is the card Yvette did. And she said, now Stacy, when you show the card, it's actually backwards because the card's supposed to open this way. Oops. So she should have done it this way. But we love Yvette, and she makes the most beautiful samples. Aren't those gorgeous? And this is all done with the Stemple paint. And again, the Stemple paint is just so easy to use. You just get it on there and start to move. And look at it, it's already dry. Already dry. I bet I could take the sanding gadget just really lightly. And sand off some of the Stemple paint. Sanding gadget, if you don't have one, everybody needs one. This is the most economical, best sanding tool ever. It's made by Coordinations. And it's $3.50. And then you can buy the refills because it's just Velcro. And the refills are only like $1.20 and you get 8 pieces of sandpaper. And it's easy to hold, it's kind of foamy. But do you see what I'm doing? I'm sanding off some of that paint to bring that embossing back up. It's gorgeous, and because the cards are white, you can do that. Brings that embossing back up. Now, I don't want to do too much because I want some kind of that shabby look to it. You could even just do the edges of the card. If you wanted to tatter and have that distressed look, go in there. And what you can do with sandpaper is amazing, because the cards are already embossed for you. Beautiful, huh? Yay! And you saw how fast and easy that was. So good. Okay, now we're gonna move on again. So we've done a little bit with the Memento ink. Love the Memento ink. Gives you a great look. Memento ink. We've done a little bit with the Stemple paint. And I'm telling you, if you go back and you watch our YouTubes, we have done so much with the Stemple paint and so much with green lid, so much with the Memento inks that you can get ideas again and again and again. And again, the Stemple paint, so easy, dries super fast and has that lovely sheen to it. Now we're gonna move to the Tim Holtz Distress paints. And for this technique, there's a couple different ways to do it. I'll tell you that I have a paintbrush, I have paintbrushes, and I have a little bit of water here. Yesterday we were playing with our fingers. We were like finger painting, it was great. So I have got the Tim Holtz Distress paints. And can you hear? There's a little ball in there. That means you're supposed to shake them up. If you hear a little ball in there, that means shake them up. There's also a dauber top. So when you get your first Stemple paint, or your first 3D, or I'm still on Stemple paint. When you get your first distress paint, you wanna go onto your craft mat and you wanna press down, and you're going to hear this little pop. And I would recommend you do that onto something you don't care about first, because you might get a little gush of paint. If you do it right on the card and you didn't want that much paint, you're kind of stuck. But if you do it onto something else, you'll hear a little pop, and then you'll see the paint come out. So that's my recommendation. Now, you can take the paint and you can put them straight to your mat, and you can mix it with water, and you can palette paint that way. Absolutely. But you can also go straight to your card, and that's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm gonna take my distress paint, and I'm gonna go straight to my card. And this is a very loose liquid acrylic paint. So I've got some of the pink down. I'm gonna put some of the purple down. And then while it's still wet, I'm gonna take my paintbrush, a little bit of water. Oh, my paintbrush has got yellow in it. Oh well. And I'm going to paint with it. I'm gonna get that water on there, and I'm gonna move this around, because all of Tim Holtz's products move with water. They move so beautifully. And you can absolutely make that gorgeous ombre effect. And the ombre means a gradation from light to dark. Gradation of color. If I want a little more pink, I can add a little more pink. A little bit of water and just blend it on down. Now again, you can absolutely use a paintbrush to do this. You can also just take a little bit of water on your finger and you can go in and do it that way. You can also use a mini mister. I found that with a mini mister, to spray the card, you get water on areas you don't necessarily want. So when I was using the mini mister yesterday, it was misting the whole card. And I didn't want to get the pink again, the top color. I didn't want to get that wet again. So that's when I went to my finger. Because I had so much more control. But I understand, some people don't want to get their hands all inky, although it comes off. It's water-based, so it's very simple. Some people don't want to get their hands all inky. Now, when the paint dries, it doesn't reactivate with water again. So you can't go back and back and back because it won't reactivate with water again. It kind of just lays on the top of it. But as long as the card's still a little wet, you can go in there and you can move this around. Look at that effect. Is it gorgeous? Now, because I didn't use a mini mister, my card is not totally warped. I had control with the water, and for me, that's the most important thing. I need to have control over what I'm doing. So my finger, a paintbrush, and any paintbrush will work. We sell the value pack of the brushes. They're $6.99. It gives you 3 really nice sizes. But if you have paintbrushes, use your paintbrushes. Very easy to do. Now I'm going to give this a second to dry, and while this is drying, I'm going to show you another technique with the cards. So this time I've got my card here. I'm going to pick up a couple different colors and I'm going to shake them up. People have also asked, can you stamp with these? Yes, you can stamp with them, absolutely. We found the best way to stamp is taking the dauber straight to the stamp. It gives you a nice saturation. We tried it with putting some of the paint onto the stamp and then maybe misting it a little bit, and it was too wet. We tried just lightly brushing it over the stamp and it was too dry. So you really want your stamp to have a good amount of paint on it, and you can absolutely stamp with them. A more solid image is going to be better than a more fluey, scripty, kind of flourishy image. But you can stamp with them. Okay, so this time I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just put some color, and let me clean my brush out, because I got a lot of pink going on in there. I'm going to take some color, and I'm going to put some color here, and I'm going to put some color over here, and I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to blend. Kind of move it around, get some color in there. Maybe add a little more yellow over here. Some yellow down there. And color wash it. Go back up to the top. And just cover the whole card. And can you see how the colors are blending? Can you see how they're blending? They're gorgeous. They're absolutely beautiful. A little more yellow. And then for good measure, I think I'm going to throw a little bit of green in. A little more. And can you see I'm just going right straight to the card. Clean my paintbrush. Probably should have had some wet wipes here, but that's okay. I move that into the yellow. And they make the most gorgeous backgrounds. Go up here, pick up that green up here, kind of move it around so I have a little bit of green going on up here. Really the most beautiful of backgrounds. A little more yellow. And you just play. I could sit here for hours and just play. And you just start creating a gorgeous background. I think I'm going to put a little more yellow in here. Just so it blends a little bit better. It's so simple. And you just play. I want to show you a card that we did doing this. Just putting the color down and swiping it around. So easy. Now I'm going to move this one to the side and let it dry for a little bit, and I'm going to bring that purple one right back. And I'm going to take my Sand It gadget, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to hit it a little bit with my Sand It gadget. And with that, the embossing is going to start to come up. Just lightly hit it, take some of that paint off, and pull that embossing up. Is that fabulous? It's absolutely gorgeous. The colors you can achieve are amazing. Because it's Tim Holtz product, they all work with water, they all blend. But this is a very thin acrylic paint that gives you such, it doesn't goop, it doesn't get too heavy, it doesn't leave brush strokes. It's just yummy. And the cards, being that they're pre-embossed, if you don't have time to pull out your Big Shot machine or you're crafting at a 3-day crop or something like that, you can take these with you without having to take everything. And for those of you who don't have a Big Shot machine yet in embossing folders, what a beautiful way to get the exact same look. For an inexpensive price, you get the cards and the envelopes for $4.50. So easy to do. And when it dries, it just is gorgeous. And once this is dry, I would go back again and I would just hit it, because this isn't quite dry yet. But I would hit it with my Sand It gadget and bring up the embossing, just like we did on this card. So simple to do. And like I said, you absolutely can go in there and you can palette paint. Let's see, do I have another sample? Well, maybe I can go on top of this one. You absolutely can go in there and you can put a little bit of your color down, pick up a paintbrush, blend it right here, and go in and paint with it. Absolutely. Paint whatever you want, and you can blend your colors, you can mix your colors. The more water you add, the more diluted the color is. There's so many options to do with these, just like with his distress markers. You just have a world of options to you. And again, I like using my finger sometimes because it's just easy to move it. But that gives you so much functionality and so much use. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let me show you some of the cards we did yesterday using the Tim Holtz distress paints. So there's another one with the ombre effect. Just gorgeous. Same effect as this one. Just a beautiful ombre effect. And here we've painted the whole card, and then we even painted the paper here, and we put the Elizabeth Craft peel-offs down on them, and then fussy cutted them out. But we just took some scrap paper, threw some of the Tim Holtz Distress paints down, blended the color, and then put the Elizabeth Craft peel-offs over the top and fussy cut them out. And here's one of the background. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, this one right here. Oops. It just gives you such a beautiful yumminess. And this one we actually used some of the gold distress paint because he has the metallics. Easy to do. You really can't go wrong with the distress paints, just like the distress markers. It gives you a completely different look than the distress marker, but equally as gorgeous, and yes, works with water. Just easy. All right, so what have we gone over today? We have gone over a lot. Okay, so we started again. We've got the pre-embossed cards by Ruby Rocket, $4.50. They come in two sizes. We've got the A2 size and we have got 5x5. They're both $4.50. You get 5 cards and 5 envelopes in each pack. So that's a great value. We talked about doing them with the Memento inks and how easy it is to do with the Memento inks. And here's one of the cards with the Memento inks, and that's taking the ink, the ink directly right onto the card. And then Mary Lynn's lovely card where we just literally put a little dab of ink on the flowers that were already embossed for you. Easy to do. And then we did one card where we didn't color at all. The cards are just beautiful all by themselves with that subtle embossing in the back. Then we talked about Stemple paint, the 3D Stemple paint from Viva Decor. And I showed you how to do a background. And I showed you some samples that we had done. I love them mainly, the guy samples are so good. What a great guy card. And guy cards are always difficult. But with the clock background, that's perfect for guys. Absolutely perfect. And then we talked about the Tim Holtz Distress paints. Dauber top. The first time you get them, put it right onto your craft mat, give a push, and you might hear a little gush, but then after that, they're good to work with. And they do have a little ball in there, so you want to shake them up. They work with water, they activate with water, so you can blend and you can mix and you can make any kind of color you want. However, once it's dry, they don't reactivate. So once you've put your color down and it's dried, I couldn't go back on top of this, add another color and hope that it would blend into these. It won't. Once they're dry, the color is the color it is. Absolutely gorgeous. And easy. Like I said, this was done for a Keep It Simple Saturday because everybody should be able to do it, and everybody was successful with it, and they just came out so pretty. Now they did it with the Memento inks. This is the first time they're seeing it with the distress paints. So everybody for the make and take did it with the Memento ink. They didn't get to play with the distress paint, but oh, it's so much fun. For me to stop working to sit down and play, oh my gosh, I had the best time yesterday. All right, now I'm gonna tilt on up and I'm gonna say, where are you gonna get all of these great products? Well, of course you can come and shop in our store and come visit us, or you can shop online at www.shop@sms.com. That's shop, the word at sms.com. And that will get you to our site. You can also, if you've got our older address, scrapbooking-made-simple.com, that one gets you there too. So either way, and of course you're gonna wanna post a comment on this YouTube because then you could win a prize. And what's gonna be on a YouTube Yummy sale? Well, all of the Ruby Rocket cards will be on a YouTube Yummy at 15% off, and the Tim Holtz Distress paints will be on sale at a YouTube Yummy at 15% off. So I hope that this kind of explained the distress paints a little bit to you. Think of a very watery down acrylic paint that moves so easily and so fluid and lets you just Play with the colors. Yes, you can stamp with it. Yes, you can palette paint with it. Yes, you can take it straight onto your paper. It just depends upon how much water you use. And again, you can use a mini mister with it, yes. I'm more preference to my finger or a paintbrush because I want to be able to put the water exactly where I want it so it doesn't oversaturate where I don't need it to get oversaturated. All right? Okay, everybody, this is Stacy at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Thank you so much for spending today with me. I will be back next week with a super uber special. Is it next week? Gosh, I can't remember. At some point, there's a super uber special YouTube coming up, and I can't tell you about it yet because it's so special, but I'll give you a little hint. I'm visiting my friend Els. We're meeting at McDonald's. So I've got a really great one coming up. And also don't forget, we've got National Scrapbook Day coming up May 4th, and we're going to have a bunch of doorbuster sales, and a great product from Sizzix is going to be here. We're going to have it all online for you too. There'll be a free gift for everybody. If you shop online, there'll be a free gift for everybody for just walking through the door. Those of you who have been part of our National Scrapbook Day sale here at Scrapbooking Made Simple know it is a not to be missed event. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.